Hello everyone. With you, Krivulya and Charly. And this is the 6th episode of the series, about creating hair in Ornatrix Maya, and V-Ray for the character Commander, who was created by Samir Mir. In this video, I show how you can create guides faster, by using the new Create tool and accounting for interpolation between guides. And also, continuing to work with the guides, to improve the shape of my hair. Just a reminder, that you can become a channel sponsor, and get a 95% discount on all my assets, voiceovers in another language, etc. Also, if this is your first time on this channel, and you want to know what it's about, as well as support me, watch the channel's trailer, and read all the information in the attached commentary, and please, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would be very grateful for that. Now, let's go to watch this episode. So, before I begin the show of the 6th episode, I want to show what I promised in episode 5. That is, how to quickly create guides using interpolation in Ornatrix. First, let's create a standard fur ball. Let's not waste a lot of time for the creation of a complex custom asset. Delete hair from guides, since we don't need it. Select several guides and edit guides. We delete the rest. That is, invert the selection and press the delete selected strands button. Next, combing the guides in different directions. Previously, to add a new guide, we used the plant guide tool. But it has an issue, only the position of the selected guide is repeated. Let's remove these guides, so we can see even more clearly how the new tool works. And for example, we want to add guides in this area. At the same time, we want to take into account the direction nearby guides. To start, add a new layer with added guides. This is done so that Ornatrix keeps the direction in the first layer and takes it into account. Then, select Create Tool, and for the position option in Tool Settings, select Center. This way, while clicking on the surface, you will be adding one guide. In this case, we'll take into account the direction of adjacent guides. That is, Ornatrix interpolates this value and uses it for the new guide. This way, you can create guides much faster. At the same time, you will spend much less time editing them. Naturally, I recorded the 6th episode much earlier than this opportunity arose. So I decided to show you this opportunity so that you can use it already in your work. Now, let's move on to watching the 6th episode. So, in the last episode, we stopped at this result. And as usual, we continue our meditation with the guides. I often choose some guide, and from it, I make an analysis of the whole result. Here, I decided to pick some guides from the front and improve their shape. For example, there is not enough of a guide here. Do you remember that you can use the new workflow I showed at the beginning? And I used the plant tool, since I didn't know about this technology at that time. But this workflow is still not outdated. After all, to work with new tools, you need to understand the base. But you don't have to learn all the buttons right away. I, for example, always learn specific to my task. I show the same in my lessons. I hope you know how to work with layers in Maya. After all, right now, I'm using their functionality for convenience to quickly show or hide the head. So, at the moment I'm finishing the guides on the temporal part. Since they were not of the same group, I corrected this inconsistency. Next, as usual, checking other guides. If you're currently thinking about Ornatrix for Unreal, write about it in the comments. As you've probably figured out by now, the whole episode will be about working with guides. No renders, just meditative editing. At the moment, as you can see, I'm editing the top. Specifically, I align the length of the guides in their direction. When I've worked out the shape of the first row of guides, I select the second and isolate them. This way, it's easier to see mistakes and easier to work with. If necessary, I move the guides closer or farther away. Given the formation of hair, always make the bottom row of guides a little bit longer. Here I notice not matching the shape of the second row. So, I align so that it coincides with the first. You can make it a little lower or higher. It will give a bit of chaos. Where there are not enough guides, we add them. Try to keep an equal amount in all rows. Okay, the second row of guides is ready. Now we can show all the others. I select the second and third rows. It's the same here. We work with the whole form, add missing guides and so on. Remember the rule, the bottom row should be a little longer. You may notice here that I'm selecting a whole group of guides and hiding them. I think it's clear that this is done for convenience. It's like working with a bunch of papers. When you put the ones you've checked aside, So, here we see that for the second row, missing 3 lower guides. Again, you can add them with the new workflow. I, as usual, add them with the plant guide tool. When that's handled, we check out the rest of the guides and get on with the work. Here, I chose the third layer and analyzed the form. I'm thinking about what to do next. By the way, you may ask, why do we need this workflow with guides when there is already a new one? Then there's the fact that many studios are slow to embrace new technologies that have just been added. That's why it's important to know all the workflow I show in my lessons. So, after doing an analysis of this row, I decided that it wasn't needed at all. Therefore, it can be removed. After all, the flow of hair must be in one direction. But here, there are intersections and it's easier to delete it all. In fact, if necessary, we will add new proper guides. As you can see, working with guides is not a quick process. You have to analyze everything and think thoroughly. For example, this line of guides is also redundant. And this one, too. So, now we can continue with the next rows. We finished the third row, which is yellow. And now we have 2 to improve the fourth. Okay, here I see a clear form mismatch, so we need to comb it out. Adding the missing guides, and edit the rest of the form. The fourth row is ready and we can continue working. This is where I check to see how things look in symmetry. Naturally, we will have to refine the center afterwards. In the meantime, let's keep working on the next row. So, here I see a row mismatch, and more guides can be added to form the missing row. That is, we'll hide the green one, and we'll finish the pink one. Here, I quickly add the missing guides with the plant guide tool. and I start to edit them. So, this row of guides is ready. Let's move on. Since I was redoing a bit the first row, there were intersections in the subsequent rows. So, it will be necessary to correct this point. But before that, we need to do an analysis of the other guides. As you've probably already noticed, I'm used to moving up the front of the row. This row is ready, let's move on.
Okay, here comes the end of episode 6. If you liked this video, don't forget to write about it in the comments, put a like and subscribe to the channel. To be continued. See you soon. Peace, everybody.